Good day everyone, I'm Patrick Tumbaga and my members will tackle about history of quick service restaurant. And based on my research, most historians agree that the American company White Castle was the first fast food outlet starting in Wichita, Kansas in 1916 with food stands and founding in 1921 and selling hamburger for 5 cents a piece from its inception and spawning numerous competitors and emulators. What is certain, however, is that White Castle made the first significant effort to standardize the food production in look of and operation of fast food hamburger restaurants. And White Castle created a model for the chain restaurant, creating a standard of uniformity among its many locations. The company packaged its hamburgers in individual boxes designed to keep the food hot and sold bags of hamburgers for a combined rate. World War II created challenges for the restaurant chain until the 1940s. White Castle and expanded at a tremendous rate, but rationing meant that plans for new stores had to be put on hold during the war. Prior to the Second World War, White Castle only employed men because so many men served in the armed forces during the war. The company was forced to hire women for the first time. So yan dalawang yan, si William Ingrams and Walter Anderson. White Castle system created the first fast food supply chain to provide meat, buns, paper goods, and other supplies to their restaurants. Pioneered the concept of the multi-state hamburger restaurant chain, standardized the look and construction of the restaurants themselves, and even developed a construction divisions that manufactured and built the chain prefabricated restaurant buildings. Anderson partnered with Ingram to make White Castle into a chain of restaurants and market the brand and its distinctive product. Anderson and Ingram started with only $700 for the original White Castle in Wichita, Kansas. The McDonald's speedy service system and much later Ray Kroc's McDonald's outlets and Hamburger University all built on principles, system, and practices that White Castle had already established between 1923 and 1932. Raymond Albert Kroc was an American businessman. He purchased the fast food company McDonald's in 1961 and served as its CEO from 1967 to 1973. Kroc is credited with the global expansion of McDonald's, turning it into the most successful fast food corporation in the world.
However, the modern history of fast food in the United States dates back to July 7, 1912, with the opening of a fast food restaurant called The Automat in New York City. The Automat was a cafeteria with its prepared foods behind small glass windows and coin-operated slots. Joseph Horn and Frank Hardart had already opened the first Horn and Hardart Automat in Philadelphia in 1902. But their automat at Broadway and 13th Street in New York City created a sensation. Numerous automat remained extremely popular throughout the 1920s and 1930s. The company also popularized the notion of takeout food with its slogan, "Less work for mother." Horn and Hardart opened their first lunchroom in Philadelphia in 1988, and 10 years later, they incorporated the business as a commissary and catering service. In 1902, they opened their first automat at 818 Chestnut Street in the Philadelphia, employing waiter restaurants. Equipment that they had imported from Berlin, where a local automat restaurant had proved successful. The first New York City Horn and Hardart Automat opened in 1912 on Times Square. And in 1924, the company opened the first takeout stores selling pre-packaged automat food. Horn and Hardart automats flourished in the United States in the first half of the 20th century, but their profitability gradually declined, and the last remaining one at 200 East 42nd Street in New York City closed its doors on April 9, 1991. Horn and Hardart hit the food services scene more than a century ago, and thanks to the love for this popular, long-standing brand, the company is back and better than ever. Throughout its inception and growth, Horn and Hardart was always focused on quality coffee. H&H introduced the first fresh drip brewed coffee to the Philadelphia and New York, which replaced a boiled process, and a fresh batch was brewed every 20 minutes in each location. In the 1950s, automats sold more than 90 million cups of fresh brewed coffee of each year, and became known as having the best coffee in the East Coast.
Good evening everyone. My report is all about the history of McDonald's. By 1954, the McDonald Brothers was stand restaurant equipment manufacturer, Prince Castle's biggest purchaser of milkshake blending machines. Prince Castle salesman Ray Kroc traveled to California to discover why the company had purchased almost a dozen of the units as opposed to the normal one or two found in most restaurants of the time. So, how do we create a restaurant business and become an overnight success at the age of 52? As Ray Kroc said, I was an overnight success, alright, but 30 years old is a long, long night. In 1917, a 15-year Ray Kroc lied about his age to join the Red Cross as an ambulance driver, but the war ended before he completed his training. He then worked as a piano player, a paper cup salesman, and a multi-mixer. In 1954, he visited a restaurant in San Bernardino, California, that had purchased several multi-mixers. There, he found a small but successful restaurant run by brothers Dick and Mac McDonald, and was stunned by the effectiveness of their operation. The McDonald's brothers produced a limited menu concentrating on just a few items like burgers, fries, and beverages, which allowed them to focus on the quality and a quick service. They were looking for a new franchising agent, and Kroc saw an opportunity. In 1955, he founded a McDonald's System Incorporation, a predecessor of the McDonald's Corporation, and 6 years later bought the exclusive rights to the McDonald's name and operating system. By 1958, McDonald's had sold its 100 million hamburger. By 1961, Kroc had bought out the brothers and created what is now the modern McDonald's Corporation. One of the major parts of his business plan was to promote cleanliness of his restaurants to growing groups of Americans that had become aware of food safety issues. As part of his commitment to cleanliness, Illinois outlet by hosing down the garbage cans and scraping gum off the cement. Another concept Kroc added was great swaths of glass, which enabled the customer to view the food preparation. Practice still found in chains such as Krispy Kreme. A clean atmosphere was only part of Kroc's grinder plan, which separated McDonald's from the rest of the competition and attributes to their great success.
Good day. Fast food restaurants. Fast food restaurants usually have a seating area in which customers can eat the food on the premises. Orders are designed to be taken away. So fast food restaurants are the food establishments wherein you can eat the food while you're sitting, and talking to your friends while eating. Nearly from its inception, fast food has been designed to be eaten on the go. So always remember the term on the go. And often does not require traditional cutlery and is eaten as finger food. So dito, sinasabi dito na yung fast food is hindi siya yung pangmatagalan na kainan. Mabilisan siya. So yung term na finger food, ito yung mga small things lang like french fries, calamari, yung mga ganun. Next, a drive-through service can allow customers to order and pick up food from their cars. So example nito yung sa mga expressways like NLEX, SLEX yun. Sa yung mga doon, drive-through. For example, Jollibee. Yan. Mas madali lang kasi siya. Lalo na pag gutom na yung mga kasama mo. So, while fast food restaurants usually have a sitting area in which customers can eat the food on the premises, orders are designed to be taken away, and traditional table service is rare. Yun. Orders are generally taken and paid for at a wide counter with the customer waiting by the counter for a tray or container for their food. A drive-through service can allow customers to order and pick up food from their cars. Common menu items at fast food outlets include fish and chips, sandwiches, pitas or paitas, hamburgers, fried chicken, french fries, chicken nuggets, tacos, pizza, and ice cream. Although many fast food restaurants offer slower foods like chili, mashed potatoes, and salad. So, in my opinion, kaya may mga slower foods na ino-offer yung mga fast food kahit fast. Kasi para magkaroon pa ng idea yung ibang customers, para umorder pa sila ng marami dun sa fast food na yun. Like, sa McDo, yan. So, yun nga, kaya sila nag-o-offer ng mga slower foods para magkaroon pa ng idea yung mga customers to order sa available menus sa McDo. Like, yung BTS meal, ganun. Yeah. So, ayun lang, in conclusion, fast food restaurants, may malaking tulong din siya sa mga customers. Lalo na kapag nagmamadali or yung iba nga yung iba na nagtatrabaho sa mga companies, ganun, doon na rin minsan sila nagbe-breakfast. Kaya yung ibang fast food, nag-offer sila ng 3 meals, yung breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yun lang po.